Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tally the Votes. We are now week 9 of our Big Brother adventure together here on Tally the Votes. I'm Christy, and I'm here with David and Jamie once again. Guys, how was your week? What's up?
Well, I'm mourning my dearly departed of the Big Brother game, and a shout out to the T Core winner's pick that never was. It was a tough week. There was a minute or two. I thought maybe she had a chance, but it was brief. How about you,
I
Dave?
mean,
Ah, you
they made the
know,
right choice.
I'm sitting here with the last winner pick standing, but I'm not exactly optimistic that he can win the game. I mean, it's nice to have the last one remaining, but it means nothing if he doesn't win. It's like your
Well,
team getting to the Super Bowl and then getting blown out by
and he seems a
40
little
points
bit
or something.
clueless because I mean, as we saw, he couldn't even figure out what he'd done wrong with the
Yeah.
cot.
Oh, there's a
He's kind
girl
of
that's mad
clueless.
at you. There's a girl that's mad at you for
Oh,
like
he's not
pegging
clueless.
on other girls. Why Olivia
Every
constantly.
player that has ever played knows exactly what you're doing there. And he was like,
Oh,
"Oh, really? I don't know why you're upset." He was freaking
so when
gaslighting
she
her. He
said
knew
he thinks
exactly
it's
what he meant, what he did.
so when she said he thinks it's funny, do you think he thought it was funny?
No, no, I don't think so.
It's
I don't.
I,
But it's kind of
yeah,
a jerky thing to do because why even play those games when you have a solid threesome, right? And
yep.
you don't rock the boat. If you piss off Chelsea, now now you're blowing stuff up.
You know
And
what
now
I
either
I don't
think?
know.
you
I don't
or
know what
MJ are going home.
I don't know what she's reacting to. He must have said some stuff to her
I'm
one on one because it's not like she has
yeah.
any particular
Well, they
claim on him.
got okay. At the very beginning when we really didn't get any real like
Like nothing from
story.
Cam.
Yeah, nothing from Cam, nothing from Chelsea really, because it was like the Tucker show, the Tucker and Angela hour. Um, they were forming a relationship, they were forming a bond. But the thing is that for also during those times, he was kind of like really all over Leah, and that it didn't work out with Leah. And so he went from that over
It didn't
to
work with Leah.
MJ
Why?
because Leah kind of pushed it
Okay.
away, right? But I
Okay.
mean, he
I
really
just
was
wanted
like
in
very,
case anybody missed it.
very,
Yeah.
yeah, very, very clearly,
She was like,
heavily
yeah, no, thank you.
flirting, hugging, touchy about Leah.
Yeah.
And there were conversations that were had that were a little like, okay, all right, little PG-13,
And
maybe.
then she ended up hanging out with Joseph and Quinn.
Yes, and then he went over to
That was funny.
MJ, and honestly, I don't think Cam's doing that because it's a game move at all. I really earnestly do not believe that there is any game in that other than bonding with people. I just think he's like a dude that's all like, "She cute."
I'll
Like,
talk to her.
she'll snuggle with
Well,
me, that's cool.
Well, I
it's
read
boring in
on
here.
some
There's
of
a girl I can flirt with.
on some of the spoiler pages they were saying that he basically told Chelsea he wants to see her outside of the house but doesn't want to have any relationship inside the house. And that's what
Yeah,
she's reacting to. I
there's
don't know if that's true.
just like, it's just people doing
Okay. Now,
people-y things,
if if he said that, there is an argument to be made that he's got a point, but you have to package it in the right way.
Yeah,
Listen, you and I
yeah.
are cool. We're solid. I want to see you outside this house. But if we let people know they're
Right.
going to target one of us. So why don't I use myself that I can get someone else to pull in with us for a third,
Yeah.
and we'll just, if
No,
Yeah.
it was strategy, I think she would be mad.
it could just be that he's not into her and for some reason she has not gotten the dreaded friend zone stamp.
I think that it could be he's not that into her. I think he is more into MJ. I think that Chelsea is into him, but she's not using, human language that says, "Hey, here's the deal. We keep having this tension because I kind of have a little bit of a crush on you. It's fine. It's probably just the game, but like you're spending a lot of time with her. Sorry I got worked up. Whatever." It's right there at the surface. The tension's there constantly, but no one is
Mm.
saying why. And they're just using other crap to excuse what the actual tension is.
Instead of
Can
being
I can
mature, having an honest conversation.
Right.
She's like, figure it out.
I need to ask a really serious question.
All right.
From a guy's perspective, I don't get this.
Yeah.
I understand that Chelsea's mad, and I understand she wants to take her cot and put it somewhere else. But why would she put it right next to the porta-john? That doesn't make any freaking sense to me. Anywhere but right next to the porta-john.
You know, I can't disagree with you on that. I don't have an argument.
I don't know.
Because, you know, who wants that? Not me.
That's weird.
Not I. Okay.
Is it so that when he goes to the bathroom, she can like look at him in disgust?
Be like,
Well, I don't know, but you figure
Oth-
Angela's been blowing
otherwise
that
they
thing up
wouldn't
for 8
interact.
days. It can't be
okay,
pleasant.
speaking of, how funny was it when they, like, her and Leah walked out of that porta potty to do their veto ceremony announcement?
Yeah. Andy starred in the porta potty. The staging
Everybody,
area
it's time for the veto meeting.
to go off stage is to go into the porta potty and shut the door.
Okay.
I'm off
I-
stage.
I love
Okay,
it.
let's talk about the twist. So
Oh my
what
God.
do you guys think about the twist?
Jinky World.
I want to say this is the biggest commitment ever in Big Brother history that I can remember where they've committed to the theme this far in.
Oh,
We're
for-
9 weeks in and they are still committed to the AI theme.
they're giving it.
Well,
I mean, the gambling
okay.
theme lasted like 2 weeks or 1.5.
Well, the casino-y thing or whatever
Yeah.
they did. I think this one I will say it's genius. The whole torturing them and the way that they're torturing
Oh, I
them.
love it. Like when MJ was crying about missing her family, like for her brother's birthday.
They're just getting
and
they're
like,
getting broken
it's
down.
time to dance. Like only happy faces. And oh my
Yes,
God, that
only
was
happy faces.
Well, and I
Oh,
think
wow.
it's for a cast that's become, let's call it, since Tucker left, let's call it what it is. They're somewhat boring.
Yes.
There's no real dynamic player left in the game, right?
right.
I mean, like Angela's the height of entertainment at this point, which is not that entertaining. So it makes sense to put him in a situation where you're going to create anxiety and conflict,
Ooh.
which they did.
Yeah. Genius.
You know what? There's a few things that I have that I think on what they did. I do not think this was the week they should have done this part of the twist, because this is the week that leads into double eviction and is usually one of the most gamers game part of the game. You know, like this is where a lot of people start like flipping, and a lot of like conversations are had that move
Maybe-
forward.
Maybe
did
that's
not
why
get
they
to
did
have.
it. Maybe that's why they did it.
Maybe, but it's genuinely.
How do they
usually the
scramble
most-
now?
It's the most entertaining part of the entire season, usually when it comes to gaming, because this week usually sets up the last quarter of the game. So that kind of sucked because we did miss out on that.
Like
There was
secret conversations.
yeah,
But
and eventually they started kind of, creeping over to their own corners of the yard.
Or just full on moving their cot, whatever it takes.
over to the
The
back.
HOH balcony, I love that.
Right. It got a little, like they found their space after a couple days, but flat out for like the first 3 days, it was just boring. It was boring because they're just laying out there bored. But
And acting like 80 degrees is 180. Just,
yeah, it's not what we're dealing with here, I'll tell you. But
And low humidity. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
that's the thing.
80
right?
degrees
And,
low.
and like Cam
In
is
the
like
desert.
in the freezer,
Yeah. I don't know. There was some good things to it. Like I said, if it had been last week instead of this week, maybe I would have liked it better. I don't know. The idea of everybody having to be out there dealing with Quinn would have been pretty fun.
Well, they had to deal with Angela, and that's just about as offensive.
Yeah, but she's not fun, and she's just
She
wants
was
to
not
be part
annoying
of the
this
group,
week, really.
Yeah, she just wanted to be.
She actually did gameplay this week, David.
She
Oh,
did.
I know.
She
She's
did some
floating. She's floating her way to her little goat.
Oh no,
goat
that was
enemy.
not a float.
She's
This
not
week she
floating,
did not
David. I'm
float.
sorry. She's not
She
floating.
did not float.
anymore.
She was going strong on the HOH. She was set to continue on with that.
Mhm.
She made
She
a
made the
very good
move.
deal
She
for
made the
herself
T4
right
move.
there.
It wasn't
And
Leah,
really
it was
made the
her.
deal so that nobody else could be put up besides the trio.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Well,
mean?
it was actually the perfect game move this week. I was texting with Jamie earlier. The trio had to be broken up.
They had
If they
to.
got through this
It's not
week,
personal.
they run the game.
Yeah.
Right.
And you saw how tight they were. And God, the blubbering. God, cut it out. It's a game.
They
Stop
don't
with
like
all the
each other.
crying.
David, they had to sit there for a week, bored off their ass. They've been in there for 6 weeks, bored off their ass. They are like cut off from the rest of the world. They are all best friends. And they're
It
all
is like-
clearly emotional people anyway. Like
Yeah.
they are like, oh my God, they just died. When they leave,
Yes.
it feels like a death.
Like, it feels like you're being ripped apart.
It's like the week before, T-Core's like, here's what I'm going to do with my HOH. I'm putting these people up, but I don't care how they feel about it, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, hey, I'm up on the block. It's like, really?
David, I'm sorry. This is just the way that the world is managed now by people with feelings. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Us Gen
okay.
Xers and apathetic eye rollers. We don't stand a chance with these people that have real feelings. Like we can't.
But that's the problem is
What?
they're
Like,
not real.
you don't
They're
live
not
up
real. Like
irony
when,
and sarcasm?
I think they.
when Lee was
Listen.
crying after T-Core got voted out, bullshit. She wanted her to go home. She's
David,
crying
of
in a hope
course, they
of
don't
getting
like
a
how
vote
they
at the
have.
end.
Yes,
They don't like having to hurt people's feelings, but
There
they know
you
they
go.
what they have to do.
Then
for
why
their
do you play
game.
Big Brother? That's like
Because
I mean,
everybody thinks like you that they can go in there and not have feelings. But I'm gonna tell you what, the way they're breaking them down, you can't
Yep.
do anything but have feelings.
I don't know. It's like being a running back in a football game and saying I don't want to touch pigskin. I mean, it's dumb. It's a dumb thing.
That is the weirdest analogy.
I mean, I don't know. Couldn't think of another one. Okay, it's not a great
I don't
analogy.
know that you thought of that. I don't know where that one came
like,
from.
I mean, I don't want to do. Is it cool if I don't want to do either of those things?
Listen, the whole point of Big Brother and the whole reason that we like watching it, and probably would not really well like to admit it, is that wow, are we just going through the reel?
No,
Is that you put these people in these house when they don't have any other distractions, nothing else but paying attention to each other.
Each other.
And you just watch them slowly go insane. And when you throw them outside in the backyard and you can't go inside, and all you're eating is pizza and ice cream and dancing and singing that freaking song over and over, it's like some sort of weird mental torture. I'm sure it hastens that
Cam didn't cry.
spiral.
Cam hasn't cried the whole.
Cam blew up his
game.
game with his main alliance. What a ding dong.
No, Cam has cried, David. Actually, they're not showing a whole lot, but Cam has cried a lot.
Really?
He cries too. The whole damn cast is a bunch of boohoos. Honestly, you're not going to like me to say this. The only person that isn't actually really crying is Angela because she's fake.
It's all fake. Crocodile tears.
Like,
Angela has no tears.
Everyone else is
She's like hitting herself in the face trying to get a tear to come out.
So I hate to say it, but Jamie's argument last week was so good on Angela that now I can't not see what she's
I'm
seeing.
sorry.
And I'm watching it this week. And David, I have to tell you, I'm watching it this week and I'm going, I might be a little bit Angela.
Yeah, I can see it. But you know what? We're fans of the game. And you know what? There isn't a fan in the game left in the house. Nobody is voting for her. They don't like her. Except Lee.
I think that if she was up against Cam, I think Cam gets MJ and gets Chelsea's vote. And I think everyone else votes for Angela.
I don't think
But
so
when
at
you
all.
But here's the deal. She's not floating like you claim to say she is. She's not.
She's playing.
No, but she's
won
being
things.
carried because
She's
nobody
won
thinks
things.
she can win.
She is not being carried because she's actually won things. She's made deals. There are some people in there who have not even done that.
Sure, but when you're taken down 3 times off the block, you're being taken down because they don't think you're a threat. I'm sorry.
Fine, whatever.
Here's the
These
thing.
weren't allies in any case that took her down from the block.
She's still getting them to take her down.
This is where I'm going to put
table
this.
down.
Okay, Chemo has won one challenge? Chemo's floating. Rubina,
Oh, fair.
she's won one challenge. She's floating.
Fair.
Angela's not. She's swimming. MJ swimming. Cam, so far, he is floating. Chelsea
Floating.
swimming.
Is he floating, or is he
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
the
He's floating.
keeping his big self under the water so nobody
No.
realizes what a threat he
This would
is?
be
No,
the
no.
yeah, but come on, at some
He's
point
Has
you
he
have to
been?
move
Let me ask
on.
you a question. Has he been on the block?
Has he? I feel like he has once at the
He
beginning.
has
I feel
once,
like he has.
right? But was he really threatened? No. He's not been threatened. Nobody's talking about getting him out of the house. He's playing a decent game. He's not going to win. I don't think he's going to win. I think Lee's going to win, actually, now.
I'm not saying his game is terrible. I'm not saying he's making terrible moves. But if you're going to define a floater, Cam is floating. Period. He might turn around and just do a winning streak and bust everyone's ass. But right now he's floating.
I think there's
And then-
a difference between floating and being carried because nobody in the house worries about you because you can't win. And I think, regardless of Jamie's well-reasoned Perry Mason-like argument last week, Angela still cannot win because at the heart of it, they don't like her. And this is a cast who cries all the time. They're going to vote for who they like, not who they think played the best game.
Let's just kind of like, let's fall out a little bit. Let's look at traditionally, there's a few things that we're missing here. One of those things is that everyone except for the final three, spends 2-3-ish weeks in jury house doing nothing but talking about other people's games and then not having to deal with those people anymore. They will have 3 weeks Angela free, and if they see her win an HOH, when you watch the videos after you get sent to jury, if they see Angela making any moves but they don't have to personally put up with her, she wins the game. Like, it's just how it goes, because everybody's like, I hate that person. And then they get in jury house for 3 weeks and they have booze and they get to have sex with each other. And everyone forgets how much they were annoyed by that person.
Who's having sex? If Quinn and Tikor are having sex, I'm going to be amazed.
Yeah, I don't know necessarily about this cast, but you know what I mean. Like, traditionally, this is how it goes. Also,
or flying solo, whatever it is.
Right, I understand, but usually the game, there's at least some people who really appreciate the game and have a love for the game. And Quinn might be that person. Quinn might vote for Angela. You might be the only one.
I think Quinn
because he actually loves the game. The rest of them are like,
I think Quinn could rally the votes. I think Tikor would vote for Angela over certain people, but not everybody. Here's the last. I know it seems like, does it? But let's just think about the round table with Dr. Will, because he will straight up say, it doesn't matter if you're friends with him. Was their social game good enough? She got you to take her off every time. He will do the convincing if he thinks her game was better. He'll push it.
Well, not only is her social game there, but she was doing, like, this week when she made the deal, they're standing there doing their HOH, she's making the deal, and she says, Celia, I've already got to get pictures and letter from, twice from family. She's reminding them, I've already got to do that twice, and you really deserve to be able to have that.
And I hate to say it, what happened with Chemo,
that
racks me up, because for 2 weeks she voted Chemo off, but then she made a big ass production about how
that was genius.
So bad, and she's got to take Chemo off because she's fixing that mistake.
And she did.
Yeah.
It's almost like she made the mistake so she could later fix it.
That's weird. She freaks me out.
When you go back and you think of week one, she wins the first HOH, and then goes after Crazy Eyes and got the biggest, most physical player out of the game immediately by something she freaking fabricated up.
Yeah. And then the person
she might be the best player ever.
The person who received the most side damage.
David, you say that seriously.
Okay.
Because you cannot conceive of an idea or a world where perhaps she's strategizing this.
Okay. Now wait a second. Who on this podcast would like to see would love to see a 50-something person win more than me?
All of us would. Yeah.
But I've been crying about it for 4 years, right? That they
Even David cries. See, guys?
Buddy, you were crying about it on every reality show. And then when somebody over the age wins, you totally forget by the next season. And then you're like, nobody likes old people. Rabble.
They send them home first on Big Brother almost always.
Yeah. Oh, it's true. Like, an older generation is, Yeah, it's a younger person's fancy face show. It is.
Oh.
But I'm not saying we necessarily want her to be the winner. I'm just saying she has as much of a chance as anyone else left in that house.
And she has quite an argument to make in her final speech if she's in final 3.
Sure, but
She can.
but
She
the
has, she has
argument,
quite a resume.
but the argument doesn't matter to people who are not fans of the game. They don't care about who played the best game. They're going to care about who they like.
Okay,
David,
who is taking her
how many
off
are
the block?
sitting there crying? Who's sitting there crying? And you go, they're blabbering. All she has to do is get up there and talk about.
No one's blabbering for her. No one's blabbering when she's on the block.
She'll make them. Sorry, she will. She will make them.
Okay. You were all forgetting when she thought she was going to go home, how like shrill and desperate she was and how cringy that was.
I'm not saying she's pleasant to be around sometimes. Absolutely not. That's not what we're saying.
And by the way, the worst moment in Big Brother history was her victory dance when she won the veto. I can't get that out of my head. I've had like 82 drinks since then, and it's still in my head.
Listen, she is practicing her twerking. And David, we're going to get you a cameo for your birthday this year, but we're not going to tell you what it is yet.
You'll never top King George.
And you know what?
It'll be Angela twerking. What are you talking about? We just told you.
Here's the thing, too. Here's the thing I did not see coming because she is so very abrasive, is I didn't take into account when these young people are away from their family for this long, somebody is gonna take the place of mama.
That's true.
It's been long enough now that I think that because she's got Leah and she's got MJ, I don't think she's got Chelsea at all. I don't think she does. But she's even getting Robina now.
She doesn't have MJ.
Yeah, she does. She's
a useful idiot for MJ.
Doesn't matter. She's got MJ. If she's a useful idiot, she's got her.
No. MJ is treating her as the useful idiot. She's doing MJ's bidding, and MJ's fine with it.
Yeah, but I mean, they have a lot of little like close girl conversations.
All right,
I miss my mom.
Listen,
I miss my daughter.
Look. I'll be eating my words if she wins. Yeah.
I'm just saying I think she has as good a chance as anyone left in the game at this point. Sure. And she is not floating. Even if she's not the winner, she didn't float. If she did win, she didn't float. She played the game.
She did not float.
I would at this point, I know that this might be a hot take. I know that T-Core was everybody's like, we gotta get rid of T-Core. I really think Chelsea was the bigger risk than T-Core. Over the two of them.
But you couldn't keep the three. The three were never going to betray each other.
You had to break up the three.
You're right, but here's where it gets a little bit rough for Leah, not for MJ. And that's what I love too, is that I have to say with MJ's playing this week. Yesterday, Chelsea did rounds with Chemo and she did rounds with Cam, talking about we need to keep T-Core. We need to keep T-Core. She had Cam on board, it seemed like, to keep T-Core. But then she went to MJ because they knew they needed that vote. And she was like, no way.
No, because MJ's thinking about strategic game.
Right. She stopped.
Okay, first of all, they didn't need MJ's vote. Because they knew they had Chemo. So they didn't need MJ's vote. They only needed 3 votes.
They needed 3 votes, but Chemo, they didn't know for sure if they were going to have Chemo. They didn't.
Then they weren't paying attention the whole season. No, that was the most obvious vote in the history of Big Brother.
To us. But honestly, there were a lot of conversations, even with T-Core and Chemo, talking about Robina, like maybe the Robina getting to stay over T-Core. They have had a lot of conversations this week with Chemo. I thought he was probably going to go with T-Core regardless. But anyway. She really thought she was making headway. She had Cam going, you know what? Like, okay, I kind of see it because they did have an alliance with T-Core. And
no, Chelsea has an alliance with T-Core.
So did Cam. It was the 3 of them. So did Cam. He's in that alliance.
But Chelsea has had an independent alliance with T-Core.
Okay, but there was also an alliance between the 3 of them. And so she's bringing that up and they're talking about it and she's laying everything out. Like, who do you have a better chance with at this point? The blind spot that Leah doesn't quite see, but everybody else kind of does see, is that Leah says, we got to break up this trio, right? And they're right. That's very important. But there's another trio in the house.
That is not nearly as tight as the other three.
It's not.
They're not as tight, but they are better at competitions and they're more persuasive because they hold the power right now. But
we're talking about, who are we talking about?
She's like, well, see,
MJ,
Chelsea, and Cam.
Okay.
Leah is constantly bringing them up in conversation. Angela and the two of them are constantly talking about it. Leah's talking to Rubina about it. Those three keep coming up as a trio. So if she goes, okay, but guess what? Guess what MJ is talking about, what Cam is talking about, what Chelsea is talking about. Do you know who the target is this week? It's Leah. It's Leah. Because she's not paying attention. There are two trios. She's not in either of them. And one of them holds the power, and she went after the one that doesn't have the odds. It had T-Core.
Well,
but Rubina.
We don't know who will win HOH. Maybe it'll be Angela again.
I think it's going to be Angela again.
I mean, it could be Angela again. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's going to be Angela. I feel like it's going to be Angela or Mackenzie when we left. That's what they both were looking pretty good.
But I feel like if it was Mackenzie, for instance, I feel like she would be open to talking to Leah. I don't think she would target Leah.
She's talked about targeting Leah.
Who?
Has she?
MJ, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well,
MJ's not worried about Rubina or Chemo anymore. T-Core was the power.
No. Once T-Core was gone, those two become a non-factor. Now you would ignore them.
I would have said prior to this week that you would have had to break up Cam and Chelsea, but it looks like they broke themselves up.
Now they're back together.
Well, no, I think they're very scary. They're very scary as a duo.
Part of a trio. They're maybe not a duo.
Right, exactly.
If MJ was gone, then they're the duo that you need to look the F out.
Right. No, but a duo isn't as powerful as a trio. And the Chemo, Rubina, and T-Core were never, ever, ever going to turn on each other. There was nothing you could say to any of them to get them to leave that alliance. And so one had to go because you're at a point where three people carried the vote this week. You're going to be, for the second eviction next week, it'll be two.
Yep. Exactly.
Right?
Well, if you have, okay, so I'm not saying that there was a bad move in removing T-Core. It wasn't a bad move. It was a good move.
It was the first time we saw a bi-Hoyle Big Brother week where the right people were put up, the right person was blindsided, and the right person was sent home.
Well, and it really wasn't, I mean, other than T-Core going up. And honestly, I don't know why she was even shocked because they told Chemo ahead of time and he said, I think you might be going up. So I don't even think she was shocked. I think she was pissed. But I don't think she was.
What did you guys think about Angela's amazing superior skill of busting that puzzle, that candy puzzle veto, way before nobody else was even close?
Yeah, that was interesting. I'd like to see. I mean, because you would think there would have to be a bunch of solutions to that, like not just one, but
no.
Oh, and like in in that dish, yeah.
And
it must have been perfect for floaters, right? That game.
Somewhere in the world, Ian is printing those little things out on a laser printer, and he's figuring it out.
He's already.
Yeah, I thought that was I loved that puzzle because it looks deceptively simple.
Yes,
and yet, wow, they could not.
Yeah,
and it was. I thought it'd be like one and then another one right away, but it really was a long time between.
I kind of think that right now the two people that have the best shot for winning comps is Angela and MJ.
Well, I got to say, from what I'm seeing online. Nobody's confident in Cam.
Well,
in his competition.
Yeah, he seemed like he was.
And Rubina was clearly lost.
Yeah, she's good at untangling knots and running fast, and she's maybe not a puzzle person.
She's tiny. She could do the.
It looked like it was. It looked like it was MJ or Angela to me.
Yeah, but I mean, like in any competition at this point right now, I feel like. I mean, look at how long Angela lasted in an endurance competition.
Right. And she wasn't like sweating. She was like standing there. She was like,
She did pretty
you
good in
know,
that. I did not expect that to happen. I mean,
Okay.
not like it was
right.
like holding up, a 50,000-pound bag
No,
of
but
sand.
holding your arm there steady that long, the youngins couldn't do it.
10 hours. Ew.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ew.
So can you enlighten the dude on a question? I'll ask it delicately. On a
Is it
scale of 1 to 10, a 0 being not at all, or maybe a little tiny cuticle bother, and a 10 being a root canal without Novocaine, exactly how annoying is what Leah had to go through at the end? I mean, is it like horrible, or is it
that she started
not?
her do you mean that she started her
Yeah.
period? It
Yeah, I
could
mean, is
be
it like not a big deal, or
Oh,
it,
wait a minute. Wait a
it
minute.
could
Wait a
be
minute.
an
Was
absolute
this in the feeds? Was this on the live feeds?
yeah,
oh yeah, she started her period for like the last 2 hours, and
yeah,
she refused to
it's fine.
step
It was
down.
nothing. It was
Of
nothing.
them start
And
standing
from a
there?
guy, I don't know whether that's like the worst thing that could happen or not
Okay,
that big a deal.
It just if she wasn't
hold on a second. Hold on a
cramping,
second.
that's different.
I have to ask a question. How did she know she started her period?
She
Because
was
she said
talking
she
about
was
it afterwards on
yeah,
the feeds, I guess.
yeah. Because she was saying she was basically like it started and she was basically free bleeding because she wasn't going to get down. It's nothing. She was
It's
Okay,
standing
so it's
there.
nothing. All
nothing.
right,
It's
okay.
usually
I didn't know,
usually
and
it
I
does,
don't
it's
have
not
any
like a faucet.
perspective.
It's not like
No,
it's
I
not like,
know that. I know that,
you
but I
know,
didn't know if
Yeah.
it was like 3 hours she was standing up there. I
But
didn't know whether it would be.
now, if she said in those 3 hours, if she was like kind of whining and like if something was really hurting her, like it was clear that she was cramping really bad, but she didn't say anything. I mean, she just started her period. Well, all right.
but for some people don't get that at all. Some people get it before.
No, and
so, you know, it's
like afterwards when she was jumping around dancing and stuff, she didn't seem uncomfortable or like wanting to
No.
just run to the lavatory.
No.
But they might have cut
And
that.
it's one of those things where like usually in all reality, you would start and you wouldn't even know it until you went to the bathroom. And
Yep.
Okay. I just
she'd
like I
just
said,
be
I have
standing
I
there.
have no frame of
It could have been
reference,
something she saw
obviously.
afterwards. Yeah. She goes to the bathroom, goes, "Oh, look at that! I was probably just free bleeding there for a couple hours."
Yep.
Okay.
Hey guys, we can
Yeah, it's
lose all our listeners right there. Sorry, guys.
Well, no. I mean, I was trying to ask it as politely as I could. I just don't really know.
I think
You
it's
know.
I think it's a legitimate question. I mean, and it really is as individual as a human being.
Well, sure. I mean, yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, and some
But it
people it
didn't
could have
seem
been
to
like,
bother her because I didn't even know about it.
yeah, exactly. And some people it could have been like, I have to step down.
Well, you clearly weren't reading our chat then.
You weren't there
Did you?
talking about it with
I
them.
was trying to go through. You guys talk so fast. Some people have to work for a living, and then I go to try and catch up, and it's like, oh my gosh! And I'm trying to respond, and finally I
You're
just go,
like,
I can't.
I didn't realize that we were writing a 60-page novel.
It was
Like-
a lot. Sometimes it's a lot, and then I'm like, I'm so lost. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see what else.
So we've got.
Should we get
okay,
janky t-shirts?
should we what?
CBS is selling janky t-shirts.
Okay, the janky trucker caps are way cute though, and I would probably wear one. I think they're kind of cute. I liked them.
I'll get the
Okay,
t-shirt
first
then,
of
'cause I
all,
wouldn't wear the hat.
is Janky gonna be the new
Wait.
favorite?
Let's talk about Janky for a second. Okay, did anybody like occasionally get a little whisper of like Zingbot's voice in Janky's
Yes.
voice?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
It's the same person
Yes.
doing the voice,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, there's no question. Just like the same person who did Zingbot Junior, right, or Little Zingbot, or Baby Zingbot,
It's
or
just like
whatever they called
a
it.
voice change.
So if every season we love OTEF, we love Zingbot, we're gonna get Janky every season now? I hope so.
maybe we might. I don't know. Well, we have Zingbot
Well,
coming up next.
And I just love that his
right?
name is Janky. I just
like
love
Janky.
it because everything about him is Janky.
And I think it's funny that like I didn't see anybody figure that out. Like sit and figure out the acronym and.
Yeah.
Oh, as soon as she said it, I was like, oh, yeah, okay.
Did you? You should have posted
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
You'd have had your Turner and Hooch moment.
junior artificial neuro. I don't know what I was saying.
I do believe that they said next week we're getting
Neurokinetic.
So,
Yeah, we're getting Zingbot, and then it's double eviction night.
and double eviction. So we have a long Wednesday night, and then we have a double eviction on Thursday.
Yep.
So
Okay.
that 2 hours in? Yeah.
Is it 2 hours? I got to look because we
90
gotta,
minutes. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
but
said it was
it's
90
got
minutes
it.
on Wednesday.
Oh, 90 only.
Which I don't know. Is Survivor not on Wednesday? No, I
Oh, it
guess
must
it's
be.
done. It's done at it's done at 8.
Yeah, but is Survivor going to be 90 minutes all year, or was it 2 hours yesterday?
Yeah, but it was a premiere, so
Right, but I only I got it without the commercials up.
I
Paramount
do
Plus today.
believe that if we start at, it might be 90 minutes. It might end at 8:30 when Big Brother starts. I haven't looked at CBS this Wednesday.
Well, that would explain why they're starting at 8:30 on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're going to have a long episode of Big Brother on Wednesday. Then we are getting the double eviction on Thursday. I have this idea that, I mean, I don't know who it is that's going to win HOH tonight, but I feel like there's a pretty good chance that during double eviction, we're going to have maybe either Angela or Mackenzie is going to be nominated, right? Like one of the two of them is going to be nominated.
Yeah.
Oh, I think one or two of them is going to have one of the HOHs too.
Yeah. Yeah, depending on who gets the HOH tonight, because they can't.
I got to say, one of the two of them is getting this HOH, in my opinion, based on what I saw.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, like, I think that regardless of who wins HOH tonight, there's definitely going to be an Angela and MJ nomination during this double eviction.
Oh, yeah.
This would be the time to
But
get
do
Angela
they-
out because you wouldn't have
I mean,
to put up with it.
what would happen? Okay, let's game it out. If Chemo or Rubina won by some fluke, who would they put up? Because they probably put up the same people, right?
Leah. I think
You
Leah
think?
would go up. Yes. Yeah. Retribution. They lost T.
Okay, so they're playing pure emotion.
Chemo's
They're
not
not
gonna
playing
put
logically
Angela
at that
up now.
point.
No, because they're not that big of a deal. The trio wasn't really, I mean, they were numbers, which is important,
No.
but they weren't, it was just T-Core. That was the only
They
person in
lost
the
the
trio.
linchpin, so there's
Yeah.
really
Right, so
no
they
power
wouldn't. So
left.
they nobody's going to be there to tell them you have to go after Cam and Chelsea or
Right.
MJ and
They're gonna
Chelsea.
go,
Right.
they'll go after Leah, and they'll probably put,
Angela next to her.
Angela.
I
next
don't
to
think
her.
Chemo will put Angela up now.
Yeah, he might not actually. I think that she might have bought.
Oh, look at this! 32 seconds ago.
Did
Who
it update?
wants to know? What does the
Joker.
HOH whisperer? We need your prediction, oh great one.
I think it's Angela.
Current HOH according to Twitter. This is unverified, but according to Twitter, Angela is your new HOH. The HOH whisperer.
I have
Telling you, okay,
Loaded
so
right
then
into it.
we have to talk about the thing that you posted earlier this week about when they were talking in the diary room, or not in the diary room, when they were talking in the house. What was Angela, or not in the house, because they're not in the house, they were in the backyard.
Oh,
The thing
when
that
she
Angela
said
told
yes.
them.
She said,
Yes,
what-
let's talk about
you
that.
guys, did you guys ever think
Wait,
about
set the scene, set the scene, set the
yeah,
scene.
they're all sitting around,
Mhm.
campfire style, snuggling on their cots and,
Yeah.
and the ground and stuff.
Right.
And Angela looks over and says, "You guys ever think about what would happen if there was if CBS had a plant? Like if CBS
Yeah, I
had
saw
a
that.
plant in the Big Brother house, like it could be done.
In the game.
Yeah, in the game.
Like planted someone in the game.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay,
and then I immediately
Because
had to share that to Christy because
oh my gosh, it blew me away. So she says that, and everyone was out there, everyone heard it, right?
yeah,
But no one really responded to it, right?
I mean, from what I
Okay.
got, I didn't get the entire
Well, as much as they respond to anything she says, right?
yeah, right. Like, oh,
Okay, so she says that. And then we have the example of the candy in the jar competition that she won by so much on that veto. Could that have been something that in a diary they show you a diagram and you memorize it?
that would be.
I'm just
cheating.
saying. I'm
But,
just
yeah.
saying.
Do you know
That would
what
be
the
an easy one
penalty
to
in the
let her
United
cheat
States
on,
of
right?
America is for rigging a game show?
It's pretty big, right?
bad.
Yeah,
So
like a whole movie about like a real life story.
Whatever. They
on
nothing. They don't.
Yeah,
care
it was called
anymore.
Quiz
Rules
Show.
Don't apply.
Quiz show.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. With John
So-
Torturo,
so-
but it's
so-
but it's
That's
so the HOH whisperer is 4 of the last 5.
yeah.
listen.
If we
Angela could have had this last one.
I guess if you can't be the winner pick whisperer, you can be the HOH whisperer.
Where have you and you just have seen it in Because I'm watching.
Twitter.
I'm looking at some of the bigger names, and I'm not seeing anybody with an answer of who won.
Oh, I've seen 3 different posts now.
Okay, all right. Well, I checked out Jokers and Hamster, and I didn't see it on either.
Well, I just put BB26 into
into
Twitter,
the old
so.
googly, in the googly.
So what you're saying is it could be wrong. It's unverified. Well, okay.
Well, I mean, but if it's unverified, it's being echoed by a lot of people.
I'm telling you though, she could have won the.
So if she
the
wins,
S'mores one too.
Who's she putting up?
Who would Angela put up? Chelsea.
For sure, I think that's right.
Probably Chelsea and
Do you
Cam.
think
She ain't going to put
Chelsea and
MJ
Cam.
up.
No, probably Chelsea and Cam. I could see it. Maybe Kima.
It could be
Well,
Chelsea.
not Kima,
It could be Chelsea and
With-
Rabina because it's an
with
easy
maybe-
put up.
Yeah.
Well, you could put up Chelsea and Cam, and then if one of them come down, you put up Robina.
Yeah, it would be
But-
in those 3, I would think.
Now, I'm going to ask Jamie and Chrissy if you know this.
Yeah.
Does the person who's HOH for the first leg in the double eviction often find themselves on the block or the target on the second leg?
It does
They
happen.
do, right? Because
I mean,
that's.
I feel
I feel like that's right, but I don't have the
Yes.
data to back it up.
And it seems to happen a lot, and I think it's because everything's so freaking fresh in people's head.
Yep.
Right.
And oftentimes, the person who doesn't go home that's on the block is the person who wins the next HOH because they have some weird, crazy adrenaline going. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
It's a freak. It's a freak thing, but it happens a lot.
I know that what we do know about double eviction is if there is somebody in the house that is a loose cannon, like Angela, or an extreme physical competitor. And at this point, I would say MJ is probably the top of that right now that we know of because Cam isn't doing things. Those are the ones that usually get put up. That's the time you get rid of them if you have the opportunity. So, but especially when you've got people that are real gamers or loose cannons, because you don't have that week where they can campaign for themselves. So, I don't know. I still don't see an update anywhere on the HOH comp. Feed's not back. We're still at animals for 30 minutes. And that
I don't know. So how are they getting this?
I'm not sure. Because there's people that know, and then there's sometimes people that don't know and say that they know.
Well, I mean, there's probably 40 now posts, that say, but it could just be people echoing each other, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What I want to see, and I wish there was I'm trying to Google it. I'm really interested in seeing like of
this
who's
guy.
left in the house, who has how many comps each person has won.
Well,
That's
if
in the house.
if she does
HOH
win
for the
this
third
season,
time.
I think she only needs what one more win to hit the tie on the record. Is that how?
Okay. You're going to love this post in my greatest Game of Thrones voice. Angela, Queen of the Block. HOH, 3-time winner. Empress of the Good Karens. Ender of Matt. Official. Persistent veto holder. Leader of Brats.
The Ender of Matt is
Ender of Matt.
That is really good. Where did you see that?
It's just some person named EIRA exclamation point.
Way to go, ERA
very funny.
explanation point.
I mean, he didn't write it that way. He kept like putting her name in, so I
Humorous.
took it.
Okay,
out,
so speaking of Janky, we've got a couple things that we do need to talk about. But first of all, I think we need to do a moment of silence for a commercial break.
Perfect.
Yeah, no.
All right. Okay. Here is what we have to talk about because I feel like it's really important. And I also think it's incredibly janky. We had Julie Chen tonight, dressed, just like, casual.
Oh no. You know what today was?
And they couldn't see her, right?
You know what today was officially? Sweater weather. She had
Weather.
that sweat on.
And she looked casual, like she could go to the store. She could run to Kohl's in her outfit just fine.
Oh, she was going to Bible class.
Bible class, Bible study. But here's the question.
I can't even say. I don't even know
Why
if
in
I
the
call
love
it
of
right.
Why in the love of Pete, in the outfit that she was wearing, Why was she wearing like a velociraptor claw as a jewelry accessorized item? Did you
I did not notice
Was
that.
that where was that?
on a
Was it on
necklace?
her?
It was a necklace. It was like a big claw on a necklace in her like casual mom sweater. I don't get it.
It was like some strange kind of like witchy like talisman or something.
It was super weird thing to wear with that outfit. Like,
It's you know what it is. It's her talisman, so she's over COVID.
well, she is back.
That's what
She's back. Oh, do you think that's what possessed her to sing that song? Like a terrible, like.
Oh my gosh! And the look on
Oh.
her face, she was so
No, because she's just
sassy about
like
it.
she got to torture them, and I would have thought it was hilarious too, and I would have done the exact same thing if I was hosting. Made them
Was
sing
she
it
really?
because they all had to be happy and clap their hands because Julie was there.
They had
I
to
mean-
pretend, yeah.
Okay. It you know what it read? It read like the really like, let's say you're, like 8th grade, okay? 8th or 9th grade. And you've got like a creative writing teacher who like really tries super hard to be hip and cool with the kids. That's what that felt like to me. And I hated every single second of it. And I almost gave up Big Brother for life. I hated it that much in that moment. It was the worst moment of my week. Like, please, Julie, don't ever do it again.
It was a little I don't know. Maybe we should have a new theme song for the
Okay,
for the
now
show.
I just saw 3 that said Robina is the HOH.
See,
Uh-oh.
that's what I'm saying. It's just
Dang it.
you can't live the dream until Joker tells you.
Feeds are back. Jag is the new HOH.
Oh, Jag.
Okay, I think anybody listening, the reports that I have dispensed saying who the HOH are absolutely
true?
unverified.
We don't know. Absolutely.
The Twitter has gone a little crazy.
Yeah, it happens. This is what happens when you give us like a second of an HOH competition and then like shut down the feeds and don't say anything for hours and hours and hours and hours and
We
hours.
just make it up. We'll make it up. Sure.
Like, I'm sorry. Okay. So we had the feeds shut down all through that endurance competition.
Mhm.
Right.
Why?
Exactly.
Why?
I
They're just standing there.
liked that comp. I thought
would've
that comp was
enjoyed watching them standing there the whole time. One of the best episodes of last season is when they had the pressure cooker and they actually let feeds run while everyone was doing.
Why did they do the pressure cooker again? That should be every year like OTEV.
I really think that the people just leave for the night. I think they check out. I think they're on an hourly pay and they clock out and they leave and they just don't want us to have to keep them there. I just don't. They don't have Skippy anymore. Skippy the intern is gone, off doing his own
Right.
thing.
He's
So
off overnight
it's basically
now.
the Jeff Probst thing. It's just more expensive to do it, and it's a pain in the ass for production, so we're not going to.
It's what it feels like. Yes, that's what it feels like.
Okay. I mean, that's fair.
Because they're not
But
there.
the thing is like they really wanted, or maybe they don't care anymore. It's always been the big thing to get people to watch the live feeds, right? But if they're gonna watch the live feeds, you got to give them something to watch.
Yeah.
What is
and they
what
don't
is
have,
Ian's
like,
what is Ian's
Terry?
face or X profile?
it used to be. I don't know if he's still on there, but it's Tulane Terry.
Okay, it's not Ian Terry's duck.
No,
Okay,
No.
Somebody claiming to be Ian says that Rubina won.
unless they changed it, but it always was Tulane Terry, and I have not seen him on there for a long time. So he may have been part of the purge, the great Twitter purge. I do think that. Yep, there we go. Ian Terry at Tulane Terry, indeed. Yeah, he's not been on here since April or June or something, maybe. Anywho, back to what we.
So
were
do we want to make our predictions for who we're gonna lose this next week in the double eviction?
Sorry, big sneeze. I didn't want to share.
I think that it's
We
so
appreciate
hard for me to like. It's hard to say because of the double eviction. It's so dependent.
You need
on
to know who the first
wins-
HOH is to
who
accurately
wins
predict.
HOH right now. Yeah, like
Because if Cam wins, it's completely different than if Angela wins, or
Sure.
if
But who do
MJ
you
wins.
think? Who do you think if you're just somebody hoping to win the game and you're not? Who do you think you need? To
I
send
think
home
next you have to
to
turn your
secure your
sights
week?
on the other trio, and one of them has to go.
Mhm.
yeah,
That's strategically the right move.
I think
And it
the
probably
other
should be
trio-
Cam or Chelsea because they're more closely aligned.
Okay,
and
now-
MJ has ties with other people in the house.
Now, I'm not nothing against you, David, nothing at all. But I really hope it ends up being Cam. That would make all 3 weeks in a row that our winners picks went home.
That
Look,
means
I don't
we
like.
all
I don't.
agree.
Like I
Be a
said at the
hard
beginning,
reset.
I don't feel like woo hoo he's going to win. I really
Well,
don't.
I mean, this is the point we're trying to make: is that neither of us can pick a new winner until Cam is no longer in the running. So better now.
Also-
So does that mean if
Also-
if Cam gets to the final two, I win by default, even if he loses?
no, it means none of us won. It means we
We're
all.
all-
I will.
losers.
You know, I'll declare victory anyway.
I mean, like Angela would win, and you'd still declare victory and be like, "I knew it the whole time. I know." Then you would make a little ticker tape on the bottom that says Angela's winning the game, and then you'd be like, "See, I've been posting this since the beginning of last season."
I do have a mea culpa that I must make now. T-Core is not a twin because why take that to the jury house? So I made it up. Apparently, it was bullshit. She's not a twin. I'm a moron. End of mea culpa.
Oh man!
Well, she might be a twin in real life, but
She's a triplet in real life, but that's irrelevant. They didn't do a twin
Oh.
twist.
She was not playing a twin twist.
Not
No.
a twin twist.
I mean, she
Ah,
might have been crocheting with two, but that's not the same thing.
Nope,
She was.
that's a crochet.
And I'd also like to point out
Sorry.
that the House guests still think Joe Biden is the Democratic candidate for president.
That's true.
That's
because
true.
unless they leave and they're told, and now they won't because they're going into jury, so they will not
Wow!
know.
Wow! That's crazy.
Yeah. So because I think the last person that was told was Matt, wasn't it?
Could you see if the election was before the game ended and they came out and they're like, Kamala Harris is president? They'd be like,
People were like,
she's
what
not even
the-
running.
What the hell happened while we were in there?
Who shot Joe Biden? Nope.
Yeah, it's
They
like,
didn't take shot
that's
at
not
him.
how it
'Cause they
works.
don't
No,
even
they
know
didn't
there
shoot
was a
Biden. They
yet.
shot Trump.
They
Huh?
didn't even. They don't even. They don't
Like
even
the-
know that happened.
The world's been spinning since they went into the house. So yes, they do have a lot of new information to deal with when they come out. I mean,
Y'all,
that's
do
what
you guys
happened.
remember? I mean, this is week 9, so we're kind of inching on into the home stretch. Guys, do you guys remember there was a dude named Kenny
Yeah. Kenny was like, I don't like it here. Bye.
or Lisa the glitter chef?
Well, now that you mention, well, it's funny.
Wow.
It's funny because the freaky Facebook ladies are still talking about Matt.
Really?
And Cedric. What happened to Cedric?
Well, Cedric was
Oh,
sweet.
I love
like Cedric.
Cedric. Yeah.
Dang it.
But there was a discussion going on that T-Core had to be pulled into the diary room because she was saying she was going to go home and was going to refuse to go to the jury house, and they basically told her that if she did that, she wouldn't receive any money for
yeah,
participating,
you're not getting paid because
and
that's
she'd
your
never
contract.
ever be asked to play on another reality show on CBS again.
why was she like that? Was she butthurt?
She was just being salty because she was mad.
Yeah, she was probably
because they're
over
going to vote
it,
her
you know.
out.
Yeah.
Well, I think when you're
And they were in that janky world,
yeah,
and
I think when you're
What he had to tell her was, listen, we have $1,000 worth of yarn sitting there waiting for
Yep.
me in the jury house. She's
Yeah.
there.
and I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure, but it's like, listen, you were literally getting paid to live in a luxurious, home. You can lock yourself in your own room. You don't have to interact with the other people if you need a breather. There's a swimming
Right.
pool. There's
Swim, yeah.
like you're good. It's fine.
You can sleep and no one's gonna wake you up in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Nobody
need
else
that
has to sleep
time
in your
to,
room with you.
They
you
have
need
been
that time to decompress. And when you talk to some people, like the serious people from the game, not just the people who kind of tripped their way into a win, but those people that were gaming from like day one, like the Dan Gieslings, the Dick Donatos. When you
Ian Terry.
But if you go from the beginning of the game and you're gaming and you go all the way to the end of the game and you win or you're runner up and you don't get that decompressed time in the jury house, you go from months of not trusting anything anybody says and you go back into your family that way.
Oof.
Yep.
That is it is a psychological hit. It's easy for us to not like really, but if you're, weeks and weeks and weeks of paranoia,
Mhm.
and then you go back into
Well,
Isolation.
that's assuming
all
you
of
ever
it.
trusted the people in your life to begin with. I mean,
Yeah.
Yes, but it doesn't matter because your brain, it's that whole every stick is a snake. It's
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
thing,
It's also the thing that they've been in the house so long that their life is no longer their own, right? There's not a single thing that they
Now
can do
you're
throughout the day
a
that is really
public,
their choice.
yeah.
And now all of a sudden you're done. And it's like, oh wait, yeah, it's the whole thing is just such a
You can
know.
really understand why people in these shows, like cast members in these shows, like Survivor and Big Brother, you see it all the time where they do these huge cast parties, these groups of people stick together. God forbid anybody not go to Todrick's place after Big Brother's done, but they all
Oops.
they still
didn't,
cling
though.
to each other for quite a long time
For
because
normality.
because like it shifts your brain because you're not just going there and you have a roommate and you're going to college or you're going to work
Yeah.
and you're leaving the house every day.
It's more like boot
Everything.
camp.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Intensity the whole time.
well, and
I
I think
would
too,
imagine
there's a certain, a bond that forms with dudes that have gone to war together, right? They
Right.
come out of it and there's this group kind of dynamic that can't be
and
broke.
people who have done
They're the
time
only ones that
together.
understand.
People have gone to
Yeah, I was
jail,
gonna say
done
that.
time. Yeah, it's
Yep.
so it's just it's the mindset. You get in there for a long time. So if you get to the point where you're going to go into jury, I can see where you're like, I just want to go home now.
Okay. Well, it doesn't. Okay. And by the way, I want a disclaimer that no longer applies to Survivor. It's freaking 26 days. Grow a set. It isn't that long.
Yeah, it's 6 weeks that they're gone entirety. In
Right.
entirety.
I mean, Survivor no longer
Because they're
is
not
a
allowed to
ruling
communicate,
physical
like,
experience.
When they're there the 2 weeks before the game starts, they can't talk to each other and they can't talk to family and friends. And when they're in their little sequester situation.
Right.
Now I would say that we're going to get MJ, we're going to get Angela on the block during the double eviction. One of them is going home. That's all I know. I feel like one of the two of them will be gone by double eviction.
And I feel like even though we're saying I think it will be Angela again for the reasons that David's saying.
Yeah.
Nobody thinks she can win, but they're gonna.
Oh, there's plenty of people on the Twitter that think she can win. Now I know where Jamie gets it.
That's my brain, man. My brain.
I'm gonna say clearly 4 or 5 weeks ago we wouldn't have been saying
no,
this.
absolutely
But
not.
now when you look at 9 weeks and each week she gets a little shinier in her.
I'll acknowledge
resume,
she has a resume, but I don't think this is a cast that cares about resumes. That's my analysis. I could be completely wrong.
It's funny because I don't feel like any cast really cares about resumes that much anymore. I think that's
they sure talk about it. Most casts do.
But it's weird though. It's a strange thing.
When a 51, but when a 51-year-old woman can go in there and do so, win so many more comps than the young people.
Yeah,
dude, that's a resume. You can't.
Okay, now I see a post from 6 seconds ago, and it's still adorable animals. And I would like to point out that at Tally the Votes, we want you to feel right at home. So all you feed watchers, we have adorable animals with us tonight. Just look over Christy's shoulder. There's adorable animals.
That's Romeo. He's a
Romeo,
lover, not a fighter.
Where for out there, Romeo?
He's right there.
Deny my father.
We like to
Refuse thy
say
name.
Refuse thy name is.
I thought someone was gonna have to throw me the line there for a minute. I couldn't remember it.
we like to say
There you go.
Romeo in this house. So, Romeo. Guys,
He's
I don't know.
pretending he
We got
doesn't know that
double
we're talking about
eviction. Let's see. I don't think that I have any other notes that I feel like is really really all that important at this point. Other than, wasn't it weird to have like a commercial break in the middle of the HOH thing? Like when they're stacking and
Yes.
stuff? That was a little weird. I don't know. I saw it.
Yes.
What if somebody wins? I mean, they obviously didn't, but what if somebody wins while we're at commercial break?
So
Then
does
they
that mean
just
that
show
they
it
knew-
after they come back. and
I mean,
they-
but who cares? Because clearly they don't want us to see who the winner is until, next week. So,
yeah, they'd have been
Right.
like, and the castmates are working on their thing, and we'll see them all next
They're
week.
Maybe
doing their
maybe
thing.
they'll keep the cute animals until next Thursday. Who knows?
I like the cute animals. They're fine. But I do
Oh, there were
like
some
the
cute kitty
tiger.
cats tonight. I don't even like kitty cats all that much, but they were cute.
They get some cute ones. It's better than the glittery butthole animation.
Oh yeah, the animation. too,
I've
sorry.
never
I
really
was
thought
like,
of it that way, but now I will not be able to
Oh
think of
my
it any
God,
other way.
it's all it is.
They probably all had glittery buttholes after Lisa was feeding them all that edible glitter.
Yes, and on that classy note, we would like you to know that you can like and subscribe, and you could listen to this. I don't know why the hell you would want to, but if you do, I mean, we're funny. We're good
No, they
people.
totally want to.
You could listen to this on a podcast feed, and you can do that anywhere you listen to podcasts. And we're on the Jay and Jack Whole Enchilada feed. Find us there. Tally the votes. Come hang out with us on the Book of Faces. We love a funny meme, a jest, a slurry
Yep.
little mix of like shenanigans and tomfoolery. A good
A
laugh,
memory
a
post from
chuckle.
12 years ago. We
It's
love that.
fine. Share a timeline.
Yeah, come
post.
there.
I don't care. Come on over.
Come there
share
and tell us how you weigh in on the whole can
Yeah.
Angela win this thing?
Yeah.
Who's right? I mean, is David wrong? Is he once again
Once again,
completely
wrong.
oblivious
You
to
say
the
to
truth?
the man who is the only winner's pick left in the game. I
Wait,
can't believe
Wait,
that.
what happens if Angela's the twin? This entire time, it was.
I would totally
Angela.
claim that. I would be like, I see. I knew there was a twin. I just had the wrong person.
You bet your ass there is a twin. She's a plant, and then she leaves. She's there for the competitions, and then she leaves, and then crazy Angela comes back.
There's physical Angela and social Angela,
Yeah, they are not the
and
same.
never the
people.
truth shall meet.
You know, I know a lot of people who watch Big Brother also watch Survivor, and Jamie Joe is
Yeah.
on a Survivor podcast weekly on the Jay and Jack Network. So why don't you tell us a little about that?
Yeah, you should go check that out. We usually are live after each episode Wednesday night. We break it down. We tally some points up. We look and see who the next person out's going to be. We do all that stuff. David loves it. David loves when we get out.
It is one of my favorite podcasts, but when they break out the Excel form, I'm out.
Oh no, I'm
David-
for it. I'm for
David
it.
loves a spreadsheet. I'm just telling you, he does. No, it's a lot of fun. It's goofy. We do a recap, so you can swing by if you're a Survivor fan. And then we've got, we've got Australia Survivor that will come in on the new year, and they have announced an international cast for our international
Mhm.
Survivor. It's going to be in 2025. We don't have an exact date of the release yet.
Oh, we're totally doing that.
We are absolutely, and we have an international cast. So we've got New Zealand, South Africa,
When
Australia.
Suri meets King George, I am there for it.
Yeah.
I am telling
Yeah,
you, that
I
will be the
can't wait.
greatest book. I gotta think they're gonna broadcast that in the U.S.
I don't know. I don't know, but
I think Probst
all I
is
know
so
is
afraid of them seeing any AU
Stop
Survivor in the United States, he
Yeah.
will never allow it.
it's like, no, absolutely not. We won't do it. But it's going to be fun. So that's another
Mhm.
option down the road. But in the meantime, we got to double.
I mean,
up.
and then yeah, and I mean, where it's not under the out of the realm of possibilities that we could pick up any other reality show that maybe
We
you
have-
love and we're not watching.
Well,
You know?
we're for sure doing both AU, the international, and the regular season.
Yes.
Which by the way, they've announced is David versus Goliath 2.
Yes. Yes.
Which means we're actually going to have some strong people playing a reality TV game.
Well,
so.
I mean, it's Australia Survivor, and that's like their bread and butter still. So
They're always kind of pretty, pretty buff.
Once they've done it for 47 seasons, you might not have quite the same people as they do now. But right now,
they've been doing it 47 seasons, and Jeff still feels the need to explain the community aspect of the game for 7 consecutive minutes at the beginning of the show.
Listen,
Ooh, Jeff.
all of those cosmetic procedures do not pay for themselves, David.
Oh, no.
We gotta pay the bills.
It's a lot of blue shirt.
Oh, I wish that would be why Jeff sucks. and Jeff sucks because he's had so many cosmetic procedures.
Oh,
they just like.
All right, we're going down a Survivor rabbit hole
here. You gotta let those dimples. You gotta let those dimples show the way, man, and that's what he's doing. So. You can, you can count on us to be here for all of those silly reality shows. I'm pretty sure that we may end up doing a touchdown on the Traitors as well this season. So
excellent, yes.
Yeah. In the meantime, we got a double eviction coming up next week. Remember that it's going to be a long episode Wednesday night, and please come over to Facebook, join the Facebook group, and give us your predictions. We're at the fun part of the game now, where predictions actually mean something. So.
I'm reasonably certain, by the way, the Angela news is bullshit. So
it's true.
Dang it!
Is it?
It's true. Yeah.
She says it's true.
No, I think it is true that it is bullshit.
Yeah, I do too.
But that doesn't mean it won't be true.
I still feel in my heart of hearts that
the whisperer could be still whispering. Yeah.
So.
It just seems or if she doesn't win this one, what if MJ won and then she won at the double eviction? That'd be great. Anyway,
we will be back next week. Yes.
No one knows.
Angela will probably be back next week too. So we will see you then. And we'll see you at the end of the show also when she wins.
Yes.
Until next week, love one another.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare do it.
Have a great week.